Virus triggered a slew of problems, and America responded with money. But tonight, that recovery funding remains unspent in many communities, including St. Louis. The city received close to $500 million. City leaders have been allocating the money, using it for 178 projects and programs. A big chunk is supposed to help revitalize North City. But even though the money has been allocated, it has not been used. And tonight, News 4's Caroline Hecker is asking why. Caroline?
Many who live and work in North St. Louis say they're exhausted trying to figure out why, after almost 2 years since this legislation was introduced, no grant money has been handed out. In the meantime, they say businesses have moved out, people have moved away, and their patience is running out.
Good afternoon, AAA.
You need it, they have it. From paint to keys to every nut and bolt in between. AAA hardware has been a staple of North St. Louis for more than 90 years.
Well, Brian back there.
For the last 43, Edward Harris has been at the helm.
I enjoy what I do because I put a lot of hard work in here. Long hours and a small pay. Sometimes I didn't get no pay at all. But I hung with them.
At 83 years old, Harris has handed over many of the duties to his son.
39 and 40.
The only hardware store in the area, he prides himself on fair prices and good service, keeping track of his customers the old-fashioned way. But customers can be hard to come by, as more doors have closed than opened across the North Side neighborhood.
So, but we kept hanging with it. We hope to stay on a little while longer.
It's why he and others are hopeful the city of St. Louis will soon start approving applications for nearly $40 million in economic development grants in North St. Louis.
If our goal is to improve our tax base and to actually grow our city population for the first time since 1950s, we have to actually invest in areas that have been historically disinvested.
Last May, Mayor Tishaura Jones signed Board Bill 82 into law, injecting $39 million of federal COVID relief money into North City. A year later, applications are still sitting.
We want to ensure that as we disperse the funds, that we don't ultimately have to claw it back. And so we wanted to ensure that SLDC, as the executive office responsible for implementing and dispersing these funds, that we're doing it by the letter of the law.
Tuesday afternoon, Board Bill 37, which aims to improve and expedite the program's rollout, was discussed in the HUD and Zoning Committee. The changes would allow for applicants from a broader area and removes the requirement of a letter of support from the applicant's alderperson. That change partially stemming from the indictment and subsequent convictions of 3 aldermen last year.
All right, man.
That money, Harris says, could help him reach the finish line before handing down the business to his son. Shane Cohn, an alderman who oversees parts of South St. Louis City, fired back at SLDC today during that committee hearing. He asked how South City business owners stand to gain from millions of dollars being invested in North St. Louis. SLDC saying they have plenty of programming available for business owners all across the city. In downtown, Caroline Hecker, News 4.
And of that nearly $500 million in ARPA dollars that the city has, a chunk is going to fix St. Louis's tattered streets. In March, Mayor Jones signed a bill to allocate $40 million. Among the list of proposals are plans to spend $1.2 million on mobility and transportation master plan, $12 million for traffic calming and roadway improvements, $3.5 million will also go to safety improvements at the biggest crash sites in the city of St. Louis.